Hey, welcome to the video. My name is Christopher and I do non-emergency sales. And in today's video, we are going to discuss what would I do if I were struggling with one van and not enough work from a broker. This actually came to me from a subscriber, and he said, "Hey, I watched your video. I thought it provided great information. I would like to understand more in regards to growing this business. I have one van and I'm currently new to this business. I'm dealing with a broker, but not getting very good trips. I appreciate the portion in your video where you mentioned adding value to others. That's a rare concept. Thank you for any advice and your time." So appreciate the question, Orlando. I did ask him if it was okay before I published his name, etc., and he said it was fine. So I think his question, I've actually seen it in different forms through the years, over and over on the non-emergency various Facebook groups. And again, briefly about me, I've owned and operated two different non-emergency transportation businesses. I grew them both pretty quickly, pretty successfully with no brokers. I don't want to say I never used them, but in the beginning, I never even knew what a broker was. I mostly did it with traditional sales, and today that is my job. I provide uh, non-emergency sales for other businesses. So if you're interested and wanting more information, you can always reach out to me through my Facebook. But going back to Orlando's question, uh, today we're going to discuss the correct mindset. I'll put together an action plan. We'll talk a little bit about prospecting and things you probably never thought of. And you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end to hear that. And as always, is there a better way? So let's begin with the mindset. Uh, you really got to ask yourself, why are you doing this? What is the point? Is the point to have a fleet of vehicles? Or is it about money, freedom, or do you just have a desire to transport people in wheelchairs? And again, this will make more sense once we get into this other section of things you've never thought of. What are you willing to do? I have to say, I do think there's a lot of truths in life. One truth is you have to work hard, and the other truth is you have to be lucky. And nobody was ever going to outwork me. I will outwork anyone. And even at that, I got lucky. I got lucky. But you can create your own luck if you go out there and work hard. And I have to say, you're probably not going to hit it big for at least a year. So again, it goes back to this point number one. What is it that we're trying to achieve? And that's, this thing can be massaged to fit your specific needs. But are you willing to get a job to fund this dream? Your insurance, if you have one van, it's going to be $1,000 a month. Maybe you've got one broker and you are bringing in, I don't know. I mean, you're bringing in $1,000 a month. It's you're losing money between the insurance and your gas. You're losing money. But that's what it takes. It takes, if you do this, you need to understand you're going to lose money for two, three, it could be a year. It could be a year. But success will come. And I can guarantee it. As long as you work hard and you go out there and knock on doors, the success will come. Are you willing to do the jobs that nobody else wants? I'm going to talk a little bit more about the prospecting here, but I used to go to hospitals handing out my brochures. And, I remember meeting case managers that would say, you know what, we really need some extra help on the weekends. And the truth of the matter is my heart sank because I knew I was getting garbage jobs. I was getting the jobs that nobody else wanted to do. Praise God, they gave me the garbage jobs because that led to the good jobs. So again, truth of the matter is I didn't have the best mindset. Your mindset needs to be, I will do whatever it takes. 24 hours, taking COVID patients, whatever it is, I'm going to do the job nobody else wants because that's how you get your foot in the door. Um, Also, the business will not come for you. Will you go get it? Can you stomach the rejection? That's part of my channel is I want to show people how I did it. Again, I'm not going to pretend that I was some, 1,000 fleet guy. I had two different companies. One had 9 vans, one had 8. There's people that understand the business better than I ever will. But again, I'm sharing, what I did. And what I did was knocked on doors. And again, hopefully over the course of some time, I'm going to make a few more videos on how to sell non-emergency. And it's pretty easy. Um, okay, so the action plan. At a bare minimum, you got to have business cards, you got to have flyers, and you got to have a website. Um, there's some value in each of those, but the real value is it gets you in front of the customer. That's really all this is about. You could put your money into Instagram or other things that are not going to be as successful. There's nothing that's going to be as successful as developing a relationship, looking into somebody else's eyes, and creating a new business relationship with someone. And but what is the information that you need on your website and or flyer? Got to have the brokers that you take. If you don't take any, it's fine. But if you do take them, go ahead and list them. What are your hours? What are the different services that you provide? Wheelchair, gurney, ambulatory. What are the private pay rates? And put a picture of yourself. And you'll go to, my Facebook page, and you can scroll down to the pictures. And there's me years ago with my kid, and it's hokey, and that is perfect. That is perfect. People want to help um, an underdog. Nobody likes a salesperson, but you go in there with whatever you got. Whatever you got. You got a 1998 little rust bucket of a van. Okay, maybe some people aren't going to want to hire you, but there are going to be people that are rooting for you and will give you a shot. If you're sincere and you are clean and you've got a safe van, uh, and again, it doesn't matter. Put yourself, especially when you're talking, 1 to 2 vans. Yes, it's you. You are the business. Go ahead and put a picture of yourself on the marketing material. At some point, I'll do a long version of prospecting, but a quick version is you want to hit the hospitals. In the age of COVID, maybe they're not going to allow you to go in, but for the places that you can go in and go to every single floor and ask for the case manager on duty and introduce yourself. Every shift, go every shift. Everybody knows there's 3 shifts. Go to every one of them. Go multiple times. You got to be hungry. You got to find the need. There's always a need to be filled. Go find it. I will tell you, I did this exact thing for my second business, and I moved to a brand new state. I had absolutely no connections whatsoever. And that's what I did. I went to the different hospitals every shift, and I exhausted as well as I could have. I actually know things today that I hope to share in the future, but I did the best I could. And one day, this kind of goes back to the mindset. I finally got a customer to call me, and it was a hospital, and it happened to be on my son's birthday, and it was like an important birthday from what I remember. It was 16 or something, but I didn't. And by the way, my son was an hour and a half from the hospital where he lived. But you got to have the right mindset. You have to leave your son's birthday and go do the transport. But that's what can happen when you go knock on doors at hospitals. Nursing homes, same thing. Go show up to the nursing home, give them your business card, give them your flyer, introduce yourself, ask for the it depends on the state what they call it, but in a lot of places it's the social services administrator. I actually prefer that over the administrator. Um, it's one of those things where, it's kind of like I wanna introduce my friend to another friend. You're not going to say no. And again, the social services people need to get patients transported, and you make the connection with them. They'll pass you on to the administrator, and you can get into the nursing home that way. Hospices has been like the secret weapon. There are always hospices. There's a ton of needs there. If you have probably going to need a stretcher van to do that, but go. If you only have a wheelchair, go and see what it would take for you to earn their business. Maybe you can get by with some kind of jerry chair or something like that. Call anything medical that will ever need a patient via wheelchair. And I thought about maybe doing a longer video on this, but honestly, you could, if you're okay with doing something a little bit shady, you can just call doctor's offices and ask. You can be direct and say, do you guys have a relationship with a non-emergency company? And, you know, shoot them straight. If you're not comfortable with that, you could say, my dad needs to go to your office. Do you have a relationship with a non-emergency company, a company that does wheelchair transports? And if they say no, which 99.9% of the time they're going to say no, you can just pop in a few days with a brochure. So you definitely got to be a little bit creative, or like I said, you can go in just being upfront. The point is, you need to spend all your free time putting your name in front of prospective customers, and that's what I did. And it starts to work. You'll pick up a run here, then you're going to have 3 hours off, and then you're going to have another run. During that 3 hours, you fill your time by making phone calls, sending out faxes and emails. And all of this can be done with a computer. You don't need a phone. You don't need a fax. I mean, but there's applications out there that I use to send faxes today. Um, and then the last one here, call in different communities. This is something that may be a real need where uh, in our case, my last business was in Little Rock, and all the little surrounding communities, whenever somebody needed to go to a larger hospital, they went to Little Rock. But I had a lot of business outside of the capital city. So again, it kind of expands this this group of prospects that you can call when you think about you don't need just to call in your city. If you live by a cancer center and it's a popular cancer center, then I mean, maybe there's a nursing home that has a patient that needs to go in for cancer treatments on a regular basis that is 2 hours away. Again, these runs come up all the time. And for a nursing home to send their one and only van, that's difficult for them. To pay you a couple $100s to go pick up someone 2 hours away, it's not a bad deal for them. So that's a few ideas, but here's what it takes. Again, the goal is survival. Lab specimens. This is something that frankly, I don't know a lot about, but I have heard of other non-emergency companies that got an account delivering specimens, taking them to different laboratories from the hospital to wherever they needed to go. Dental teeth. There's factories that create teeth, and those teeth need to be curried to various dentists. Appliances. This is a real interesting one. Again, this is survival. This isn't the goal. I know you want to do, just straight up wheelchair transports, but say you've got a van with a lift gate, and you can get $75 for every time go pick up somebody's dryer or something. Why wouldn't you? There's plenty of places to advertise. And again, the goal is survival until you get enough of the real clients. UShip, if you've never heard of it, UShip is very interesting. It's one of these like Uber style apps that does transports over longer distances. And they do pets, they do anything you can think of that you need shipped, U-Ship does. Again, is this what we want to do? Probably not. But motorcycles pay well. And again, vans have the motor. They have everything in place that would allow it to pretty easily haul motorcycles around, and it'll allow you to make a buck. Um, but let me throw something your way that I don't know why it does not exist in non-emergency. It exists with taxi cabs, and that is putting your van on somebody else's fleet. Um, so again, the taxi companies do this all the time, and there are people that will have 5 or 6 taxis, under a taxi fleet that has 300 vehicles, and you've got 6 of those vehicles, and it can be um, structured in a lot of different ways. If there's a larger non-emergency provider and they give you trips that their in-house had generated, um, maybe you split it 50-50. But if you go out and get your own customers, but run it through this same business, where, you're on their insurance, maybe it's an 80% cut. I mean, this is just general speaking. But again, going to your competitors and seeing if you can't add some value to them. Would you be willing to work evenings and weekends as a dispatcher, possibly? Again, as a small business owner that did this, that's a tough group when you get into, I don't know, 3, 4, up to, maybe up to 12 vans. It's tough to cover everything correctly. And you might provide a lot of value to one of those mid-range companies and say, listen, evenings and weekends, I'm your guy. I'll do it in my own van. I'll take the calls and I'll go do the calls. So it's just a little bit of thinking outside of the box. Okay, as always, is there another way? I don't know if you happen to have seen the last video. I discussed Grant Cardine talking about providing value to others. And again, that's what I do. I do non-emergency sales remotely. I have clients that I make these calls for around the country. I think it's, again, it goes back to that mindset. What is your goal? Is your goal to make money? Or did you just have a desire to transport people in wheelchairs? Again, no judgment, but if you can learn to sell, it's a possible option. It's again, I will say this: today, it's not the money that I made doing when I had my own business, but it's a whole lot less stress. I get to travel. I happen to be in Costa Rica right now, and I'm bringing value to others. So this, again, if you have one van, you know the business, but you can do sales. Uh, I'm going to have this channel. I plan to keep this channel going for a little while because it helps me be a better salesperson when I teach some of these concepts. So as always, if I provided value, I'd love a comment, a like, whatever the kids are saying these days. And remember to drive fast and take chances. Until next time, be to Zane.